Hi everyone, welcome here to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm gonna be making this wrap shawl on my Sentro 48 knitting machine. So to make this wrap shawl I only use 300 grams of yarn or around 600 meters, okay? This yarn is a worsted weight yarn, but you can also use a double knit yarn if you want this to be just a little more, I don't know, a little more loose. This is more like if you use this yarn, this is more like a very winter, very warm because the yarn is worsted. But if you want something just more for spring or autumn or something like that, just use a double knit yarn. I think the weight's gonna be less as well. And it's gonna look alright as well if you wanna use this weight of yarn. So this wrap sweater that can be used both ways. I can wrap on the front or on the back, or I can wear it like this as well. I did make a crochet edge here all around it, only to avoid the curling of these panels, okay? This is made with panels, and I'm gonna be explaining to you everything along the way. You need an afternoon to make this, okay? Even more. I think you need one day to make this, only because of the ribbing of the sleeves, and also the crochet is gonna take you a little longer, okay? And to also put it together and seam it, so be aware of that. So let's get started, guys, and I'm gonna show you the whole process to make this wrap top. I'm gonna take it off for you guys to see, because you can wear it as a scarf as well if you want. Can wear like this as well. Okay, so let's get started, guys, and I'm gonna show you how to do this. So to start making this project, I'm going to work on the panel mold, and I'm going to be casting on 27 stitches. So I'm going to be using waste yarn as well for 4 rows. "27", and then I can start making my way back. I normally work with my hands to make panels, just to make it easier to pull the yarn every time I run into an edge. So 4 rows, and then I'm going to place the yarn inside and grab the yarn that I'm going to be using, and then start working. I'm gonna be working 40 rows for these cuffs, okay? But you can measure your arm from here to here and see how long you want this to be. And then let's say from here to here you have like 25 centimeters. Then you make 50 rows. I'm making 40 rows because I want only from here to here, and then from here I want to increase because I have my elbow here. So I'm going to start increasing stitches here to fit my elbow. So I'm making 40 rows to start this. So make this 40 rows, and then I'll come back with you to explain how we're going to increase the stitches to make the body part of our shawl sweater. Now, after I made my 40 rows, and you can measure as well here if you want where it goes to. That's sort of what I wanted around here, just before the elbow, because I want to increase before the elbow, because this part's a little wider than this one. That's why I'm doing this. So to increase, what I'm going to do here, as you can see, I'm going 1 needle further than the last stitch that I had. And that's how I'm going to be increasing. So this stitch is going to be made, it's like casting on a stitch on each end, really. And so Here, just make sure the yarn goes inside that first needle, and then make the row. And when you get to the other end, you repeat the same thing. Go one extra needle, and then make your way back. I did explain this in a few tutorials before, so if you saw any of my tutorials, you probably know how to do it. So I'm going to increase this way every 4 rows, so I'm making 2 more now, and then I'm going to increase again, okay? So not increasing on this one. Not increasing on this one. And then on this one, I'm going to increase again. So go one further. Make sure the yarn is underneath here. And then make your way back this way. And then repeat the same thing on the other side, because both sides have to be the same. And then now just make 2 rows without increasing. Okay, and then increase again. I'm going to keep doing this until I have only 3 needles empty. And then when I have 3 needles empty, I'll come back with you guys just to show you the number of rows that we have to make for this to wrap around our body. So I have now 70 rows, and I'm gonna make a total number of 230 rows for this wrap shawl. So just keep making and measuring as well as you go. This is how you measure. You want to keep measuring as you go while making these final rows. Now they're just straight, we are not increasing anymore, because that's the maximum number of stitches that we can have on a panel. So I'm just gonna keep making this straight now, and then I'm going to be binding off, and then I'm gonna be making another panel exactly the same way for the other side of this wrap shawl, okay? Okay, so keep making until you have 230 rows, or enough rows to get to 120 centimeters measuring this way. Now that we finished with the number of rows we calculated before, all you need to do is really just measure from the beginning all the way to here. Mine is already stretching, it's around 120 or around 47, 46 and a half inches. Now I'm gonna just put this inside here just to cast the stitches off. And to do that, I'm just gonna remove the yarn and make a full row without the yarn. We can cut this yarn off as well, just leave a little longer tail so you can seam with it later. I'm going to leave around 50 centimeters to a meter, and then just cast off the stitches from the machine. Okay, now we have our very long piece. And this is how wide it is. I'm gonna show you guys, because it's not very wide. I think, like, if you are making a large size, you probably need 2 panels. But this is gonna be enough for extra small to medium size, even for me, and I'm not a small girl, okay? So around 17 inches wide, or 44 centimeters, so you can easily wrap this all the way from your shoulder to around a little bit up the waist. So for me this size is good. And now I'm just gonna show you how to seam this and put it all together. So guys, here are both sides of my wrap sweater, here and here. Some people call wrap sweater, some people call wrap shawl, like there's many names for this. So what I did was I actually had to make the first piece 2 or 3 times because I didn't like how the cuff part came out. First the cuff I thought it was a bit too large, and then actually now I think, because my wrist, you have to consider that my wrist is very small, okay, so I would, and I always change I actually change the pattern after I make it for the video, just to perfect a few parts that I think should be better. And on this one, I'm actually gonna change the cuffs to, instead of 27 stitches, I'm going to start with 33 for the medium and large size, okay? Okay, and as you can see here, I've made a ribbing on the cuff. Now, if you don't, because this is made after and you have to open each stitch, and I'm gonna show you in a second. If you don't wanna do this, it's not like you don't have to. I just wanted to make a little different, this ribbing, and I'm going to probably make an extra row of crochet here just to hide imperfections. I like to do that. So right now what I'm going to show you is how to metre stitch this, but if you know what I'm doing, you just metre stitch. Here it is. Okay, and then I'm going to join both pieces together, okay? This tutorial and this pattern is going to be available as a pattern for you guys to purchase if you want it printed, and it's gonna also be available on my website, but with the ads. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description below here. And if you don't know yet how to work with panels on your circular knitting machine, make sure you check my course on the website knittingmachinepatterns.com. There you can make a course that I created. It's 2 hours course, a very short course, and you're gonna make panels at the end of this course, because I know a lot of people already made this course and they could finish their panels perfectly, even nice edges and that. So if you want to do that before the pattern, all my patterns, they are free for medium size. If you want any other size, you can get the printed version, the paid version. Also, I'm writing a book, guys, and I'm going to add this on the book. This book's gonna be available on Amazon in around 2 months, if I can, you know, just focus on that and actually write this book. I'm halfway done already, so I'll be releasing this book in 2 or 3 months, and it's gonna be a very cool book because I'm going to share just different things you can make on your Sentro knitting machine other than only beanies. So that's gonna be available for you guys soon as well. So let's get into it and just finish this. I'm gonna show you how to make the cuffs and how to finish it all. Leave me your comment, let me know how did you go making yours. I know a few people wanted this tutorial and that's what I'm making it. So let's get into it. Now guys, to remake this cuff with the ribbing like this one, the first thing I'm going to do is just slip all the stitches through a waste yarn that's gonna look like this at the end, so we can work with every single stitch. And so to do that, just slip the tapestry needle through every single loop, and then we are going to remove this waste yarn later. I'm making the 2x1 ribbing, so I'm going to leave 2 stitches and then on the third one I'm going to open all the way, and then I already placed a marker here for 40 rows, okay? So I'm going to use this for now, just to make it easier. I'm going to slip 2 stitches through this thing here. This is a stitch holder. It's a really nice tool to have, to leave stitches aside if you are increasing and decreasing stuff. It's really useful. And now from this third stitch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it for 40 rows. So you can either count or refer to your marker. You could probably add a marker on this side here, but as you can see, this is my first stitch where I increased. You can see here there's 1 extra stitch where it was straight before, so that's where I'm going to start making my ribbing. So once you did that, just flip it over so you can work on this side, and then grab the loop and just with the hook pull it this way. I'm gonna put it really close for you guys to see. And then pull it all the way up. And this is what it's gonna look like. It actually looks really nice on the inside as well. So if you wanna make this wrap sweater and use the back, the pearl side of it, or the wrong side like we call, you can do that too. Okay, when you finish this, just put this stitch and then grab the 2 next stitches and put them inside. Put them through this stitch holder, and then remake the same thing on this one too. It's actually easier to spot on the back here. Just go all the way until you reach that same stitch. Like here. And then remake this one as well. Okay, so once I finish this, I'll come back with you just to show you how to finish this part of the wrist here, and then how to seam both ends together. Now once I finished, I just had to slip the stitches through this yarn again, just so I could start on this side, and then just pull a yarn tail through this first stitch and make a little knot that we can hide, that we are going to hide after. Put the hook through, grab the yarn and make a stitch, and then go through all the stitches, just making slip stitches. That's why I also like to make always on the right side, so it looks better than as you can see, the wrong side looks like a wrong side actually. So I always prefer making on the right side when I'm finishing stuff. Then just make a last stitch here, cut this yarn here, and then now I'm just going to mattress stitch the sleeve part of it. And then I'm going to mattress stitch a few rows extra here. And then just mattress stitch all the way until you actually want it to be. Just make sure both sides are the same, and just make sure you are happy with the length of this cuff. And then just mattress stitch. I'm gonna go through this first stitch here. So I'm going to work the mattress stitch every 2 rows. So I'm going to put through this first row here and then the second one right in the middle in that little loops there. And then into the other side as well, always working in that same stitch. Okay, and then just pull. When you get here, you're gonna have increases, so make sure you always work on the edge stitch and just go through 2 of them. Let's say we are here on this one, so just go through this one and then this one, like on an angle, and that's why this is gonna look like this after seamed, as you can see here, because I had increases. And this is the reason why I decided to increase this way, just so your elbow fits through here, and that's where the elbow is, so it's a little wider than the cuffs on the beginning, okay? So I'm gonna keep doing that, and then I'll come back with you just to finish it off the middle part here. Okay, and now just put them side by side. Let's see if we're gonna use this tail here to seam in the middle. So I'm going to make the same stitch. I'm going to just repeat this little V here in order to just create an extra row of knitting. Now I'm going straight from one side to the next one, and then on this side here, I'm going to put down on the first stitch and up on the second one. So I'm going to go through 2 stitches at a time and just remove the tail. So here, and then I'm going to go through the first stitch again this way, from the top to the bottom, and then from the bottom to the top, to just repeat the same V here we have underneath it. And that way just make the same stitch. And then here, through this one, and then this one, to create that same V shape. Don't make it too tight, otherwise it's gonna look weird. And also here, if you wanna leave the tail on the stitch you just made, so you know where to put the needle after, it's easier like this too. So right now you know you have to put the needle through here, and then into the next stitch this way. As you can see here, it's exactly the same stitch, so you're not gonna be able to see that they're seaming, so this is very seamless, I would say. So I'm going to seam it all the way to here, and then I'm gonna show you which stitch I'm gonna be using to just avoid the curling, and how does it look like when it's ready. Okay, so guys, this is our shawl sweater, or our wrap sweater. And now I'm going to just try it on, and I did this before, I did try it on before, but I thought that I didn't seam the sleeves enough, and so I did seam a little bit more, like right at where I finished increasing, so it's around 70 rows, and this is gonna end up right here, which I thought it was a little better just because of the fitting. And because it's curling, it's still not very wide here, but I'm going to add crochet later to make it wider. So this is supposed to be this way. And this is one way to do it. I'm gonna touch the microphone. So this is one way of doing it, and or you can wear it like this. You can wear this many ways, okay? So I'm going to show you the last bit now, where I'm going to add the crochet edging here to avoid the curling a little and to make these panels a little more wider. And then let's see how we go. Now to work this edge, I'm going to work around here and onto the other side as well, always on the right side of my work. So where I had the tail left, I just made a knot here and I attached another yarn ball, and then with my hook, this is a 4.5 millimeters. It's a thick hook for this project, so I think that's you can use 4.5 or a 5 and you'll be almost the same result. So I'm going to put the yarn through here, through this stitch where I finished, pull it through and make 1 and 2 chains, and then I'm going to single crochet in this same space, double crochet in the same space, and then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to skip 3 knitted rows. So 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one I'm going to make this again. 1, 2 double crochets in the same one, 1 chain, and skip another 3. You can choose any edging you want. I'm just making a very basic edging. And I'm going to do this all around this piece, this same way. And then I'm going to make 2 or 3 extra rows on top of these, okay? It's gonna be a little wider than what it is. I'm gonna show you how wide this is actually. Okay, just so you know, this is how wide the panels are. 36 centimeters or 14 inches, okay? We want to make this a little wider. And the length, so you know, okay, this is the length that I seamed for, 15 inches or 38 centimeters. This is the cuffs ribbing, around 20 centimeters or 8 inches. And the full length of this is 60 or no, meter 50. It's very long, guys. Plus meter 50 plus 80, which is 2 meters and 30 centimeters. And then you can make your own conversion, 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this row all around this, okay? And here I'll probably make the same stitch as well on the joining of this. Okay, and I'll come back with you just to finish this row and then show you the next row that I'm making for this edging. So to finish this row here, I'm going to yarn over and half double crochet in that first stitch. And then I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to double crochet 5 stitches in this next chain space. And then chain 1 again and single crochet in the next chain space. Chain 1 and repeat the same thing, seam 5 double crochets, always working in chain. Five, chain 1 and single crochet in the next chain space. So this is how this is going to look like. I'm going to work this all around the piece, and let me show you here. This is how it looks like underneath the arm here. This is how I put the stitches right in the middle here of this seaming, so you guys can have a look. And then now I'm just gonna keep making this same work here, okay? As you can see, it's already, the curling already stopped. Here, if you want this a little wider, you can make an extra row of this same stitch, here, but then you can work these 2 double crochets on top of the chain instead, okay? To make this panel even wider if you want, okay? If you want your shawl to be wider than this, you can keep repeating these rows really, okay? And it's gonna get wider and wider. The limitation here is only because the width and the number of needles that the Sentro has. Okay guys, so this here, just let me show you quickly how this is like here. It's just like this. I like the way it is. It did fit well, so I'm just gonna try it on to just show you guys. Before this, what I did was, and I'm gonna show you here, I put this on a table and I steam it, and it does look much more flat than before. Before it was curling even more. So what I'm going to do is just try this way. There's a few ways you can wear this, which is really cool. Now, you will find your way that you like to wear it. There's a lot of ways. You can even do this through the back as well. And you can also, and I think this is the one I prefer, actually, something like this. It's hard for, because I can't really see myself in the mirror, but I think I like this way. So I'm going to make the corrections for this pattern. Just for me, it fits like I like it. But I think if you have a wrist that's a little thicker than mine, which is mine's really, really thin wrist, this is not gonna fit really well. So just start with more stitches on the beginning of both sides. Otherwise, I'm really happy about it. What do you think, guys? I ended up using 3 balls of yarn only, which is around 300 grams, so you guys know. So guys, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day and a great weekend. See ya!